Good morning and welcome to Daily Briefing. I'm Alex.
And I'm Sarah. It is July 13th, 2026.
We've got a massive morning ahead, starting with the passing of Senator Lindsey Graham and a dangerous escalation in the Strait of Hormuz. Plus, it is a beautiful day in Parker, Colorado, with clear skies and a high of 93 degrees.
That heat is definitely going to be a story for the afternoon, but the geopolitical news is already boiling over, so let's get into it.
Turning to global news, we start with the somber announcement from the medical examiner that Senator Lindsey Graham has passed away due to an aortic dissection.
It is a total shock, Alex, especially considering he's been such a fixture in the Senate for so long.
Exactly. And because he served for South Carolina, this is going to trigger a...
You have to wonder how the party is going to handle the vacancy while they are in the middle of such a critical legislative session.
It's a delicate situation, especially with the news that Senator Mitch McConnell has just been discharged from the hospital and is already talking about finishing his unfinished business.
It feels like a real turning point for the Senate. You have the loss of a veteran like Graham and the return of McConnell, which is going to shift the internal dynamics of the party significantly.
Moving to the Middle East, we have a very tense situation as the United States and Iran have officially exchanged military strikes.
This is the nightmare scenario everyone was worried about regarding the Strait of Hormuz.
It's not just a regional skirmish anymore. The closure of that strait threatens global shipping lanes and is already sending shockwaves through the energy markets.
If tankers can't get through, we are looking at a sharp, immediate rise in international energy prices that will hit consumers at the pump globally.
It is a high-stakes standoff, and frankly, the market reaction reflects that fear. We are seeing major indices pointing downward this morning as investors brace for the fallout. Shifting gears to Syria, the newly formed parliament has finally held its first session since the ouster of Bashar al-Assad.
It is a massive milestone, but I think everyone is watching to see if this transition can actually hold.
It's a very fragile political order, and the fact that they've managed to convene is a start, but the real work of rebuilding a nation from the ashes of that regime is just beginning.
I agree. The optics are positive for international observers, but the day-to-day reality on the ground in Syria is still incredibly complex.
Let's move to India and Tamil Nadu, where the Supreme Court is questioning the misuse of the POCSO Act.
It's a vital conversation. The court is essentially asking how they can stop the law from being used to criminalize consenting teenagers who decide to elope.
That's a huge shift in focus, prioritizing the reality of adolescent relationships over rigid legal interpretations that haven't kept pace with society. Also in India, the government is reviewing responses from WhatsApp and Telegram regarding user privacy and the implementation of uniform rules for usernames.
They are really pushing for standardized oversight, which is going to be a headache for these tech giants to implement across the board.
It's all about security, but it definitely raises questions about how much control the government will have over these private encrypted channels. Finally, on the legal front in India, the Supreme Court has released a draft report on integrating AI into the courtroom.
It's about time they modernize, but I'd be curious to see how they handle the bias issues inherent in those systems.
The report is a first step, but it signals that the Indian judiciary is serious about using technology to clear that massive backlog of cases. Let's talk markets, and the news isn't great this morning as the Dow, S&P 500, and the Nasdaq are all trending downward.
That is directly tied to the news out of the Strait of Hormuz. When the energy supply is threatened, the markets usually react with a sell-off.
It's not just energy, though, because we are seeing SK Hynix shares dive in Seoul after their highly anticipated debut on United States markets.
That drop is really surprising given the hype, but it seems like investors are getting cold feet about semiconductor demand cooling off.
That's interesting because on the flip side, TSMC just reported a 36% surge in sales, which shows that the appetite for AI hardware is still incredibly strong.
So it's a tale of two markets. The AI infrastructure sector is booming, but the broader investor sentiment is being dragged down by geopolitical instability.
We also have to look at the crypto space, where the stablecoin market cap has shrunk by $10 billion since May.
That's a big number, and it's the largest drop since the Terra Luna crash, so I understand why people are nervous.
The analysts are saying there is no reason to panic, but it is definitely a sign that liquidity is tightening up in that sector.
And speaking of crypto, the BIP 110 proposal for Bitcoin is hitting a wall with zero miner support.
It's becoming a real mess, where the fight over non-financial data on the blockchain is actually becoming more of a risk to the network than the spam itself.
It's a classic case of governance gridlock, and coming up, we'll see if the SpaceX IPO is losing its steam after a month of trading.
On the tech side, Apple's failed self-driving car program is actually paying dividends in a weird way.
It's a perfect example of how even a failed project can yield high-value assets, like those advanced AI chips they developed.
Exactly. They are pivoting that hardware to boost their consumer products, which is a smart way to salvage that R&D spend. There's also some wild news from space, as scientists found ribose, glucose, and phosphate in samples from the asteroid Bennu.
That is absolutely massive. Finding all the chemical components for our Na in an asteroid essentially proves the building blocks for life are everywhere in the solar system.
It makes you look at the stars a little differently, doesn't it? In the world of coding, there is a new study showing that Claude Code uses 33,000 tokens compared to 7,000 for OpenCode.
That's a massive efficiency gap, and for developers, that is going to be the difference between a profitable project and one that eats your budget.
It's all about optimization, which is why the migration to GPT 5.6 is such a big deal, offering a 2.2 times speed increase.
That kind of performance gain is why these AI agents are becoming so much more viable for production environments.
We also have some security news, as a misconfigured server exposed 3 Eviljinx phishing operations targeting Microsoft 365.
These phishing kits are getting more sophisticated, and the fact that they were caught through a simple server error is a huge win for security researchers.
And don't forget the Joomla extensions, Ikagenda, and Balboa forms, which are currently being exploited as 0 days.
If you are an administrator, you need to patch those immediately because CISA has officially added them to the known exploited list.
Finally, in tech, China is moving forward with their Methalox Long March 10C rocket.
Their successful booster recovery test is a clear signal that they are gunning for the reusable launch market.
It's a direct challenge to the commercial space sector, and it's going to be interesting to see how the competition shakes out. Turning to sports, Argentina is moving on to the World Cup semifinals after a 3-1 win over Switzerland.
That 112th minute goal by Julian Alvarez was just clinical, and it really saved them in a match that was looking like it might go to penalties.
It keeps their championship dreams alive, and the energy in that stadium must have been electric. In culture, we are mourning the loss of Sam Neill, who passed away at 78.
He was such a legend, from Jurassic Park to the piano. He had this incredible range that you rarely see anymore.
It's a huge loss for the film community, and his work will definitely be remembered for generations. Also, Jay-Z wrapped up his Yankee Stadium residency with a massive show featuring Beyoncé, Rihanna, and Usher.
That sounds like a cultural event for the ages. You can't get much bigger than that lineup in one place.
It's the kind of finale that defines a career, and it's going to be talked about for a long time. Finally, we are sad to report that Wai Ching Ho, known for her role in Daredevil, has also passed away.
She was such a fantastic presence on screen, and the fan response has been really moving to see today.
It's been a heavy morning for the entertainment world, but we hope all of you have a reflective and productive day.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.